back to my Hello, it's Crystal and welcome back to my channel. So it's officially been a year since we both went to Korea for exchange. So then I thought I would invite my friend Lily to film a video with me. So let's go, Lily!
Thanks for having me. So yeah, we thought it might be good to film a video about some tips in Korea for any of those who are thinking of going and are planning to go whenever it is safe to travel again.
That's right. So we kind of prepared this video into like 3 sections.
Firstly, we're going to talk about school.
How did we sign up for classes? Do you remember?
They will send you kind of like your login whenever it's ready, kind of near like 1 month before we left, or 1 month before the school starts. And it's basically a portal, and then you just like enter in your course code, and then once the registration time hits, you just like click and hope that you get it.
Yeah, it was so stressful because I remember I was doing my registration in a cafe. I was doing it at like 5 p.m. and the moment it was my time to register, I clicked refresh. Most of my classes were like gone.
Yeah.
So I think one advice we have is to make sure you have like a backup plan just in case if any of your courses can't be selected, right?
There's like a section where you can actually just quick enroll, I guess. And so you just need to punch in the course code and then it'll enroll you immediately. So another tip is kind of just to have a few backups ready and just jot down like the course code beforehand so you can enter it if any of the courses that you want are already taken.
Yeah. And then in terms of like a course format, I would say it's pretty similar to what is like in our school at least. So it was more like a lecture based, and then for some of the courses, I guess actually no, not many of them were participation based. Was any of yours like that?
Well, mine for negotiations, because you can't negotiate on paper by yourself.
Right.
So it was like a lot of partnering up every class and like doing different negotiations and scenarios. But I think other than that, not really. Some professors will force you to do participation, like they'll pick your name.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, same. Not a big fan.
I think one thing I like about studying in Korea is that the duration-wise is so much shorter because it is only 1 hour long. Whereas our courses here is usually 2 to 3 hours.
There will be classes that you will find though that are 3 hours long. So, like, for example, my negotiations class was. But for the most part, they're usually separated to 2 days if they are kind of long course. So it's like an hour and a half each day, twice a week.
Yeah.
And the other classes, I think, were just like an hour to 2 hours long.
Is there anything that you wish you have done in terms of like school-wise?
I think joining a club probably very similar. We talked about this earlier, like when we were in
so many
Korea.
times.
Yeah. We did try joining a dance club, but it filled up so quickly, like by the end of the week.
No, I think it was more like we didn't even know about when the sign-up date was until the end of the week. So then a lot of the spots were already been taken. It would be better to like reach out and then find out about your club's sign-up date as early as possible.
You can actually find a lot of clubs on Facebook, and then you can message them that way. Usually they'll respond and tell you what kind of things they offer in their club, as well as when sign-up dates are.
Yeah. How about one advice?
You can start first.
Okay. For me, I would say try to keep your Monday and Fridays off. Just so if you're planning on traveling, then you can at least have longer days to travel. Because then for me, initially, I was gonna take like courses almost every single day. And then I was asking Lily like, oh, should I have classes on Mondays, Wednesday, Fridays, or like this? And then it turns out she advised me to rearrange my course schedule just so I have Mondays and Fridays off.
And Wednesdays.
Yeah, I only had 2 days of school.
Yeah, and then it was funny because I came in thinking I was only going to go to school twice a day, but because of how my course enrollment worked, I ended up going 4 days a week. And yeah, I like missed out on a few trips because of that, because I had to go to school on Fridays. So yeah, it's important to try to make use of utilize. Yeah, exactly. I guess for me, one advice is try to find someone that you know in every class, because it's sometimes a bit hard to make friends with a lot of people, or like they're a bit reluctant because of that language barrier. So it's always good to have a friend, just in case you don't have to class, or if you come late, you have a friend to sign you in for attendance. But just like in general, it's always nice to have a friend. The only class I didn't have with Crystal was my negotiations class, because she took it.
We had like everything together almost.
Yeah.
And that in finance, sorry, for me. And we're not saying that like Koreans didn't want to be friends with foreigners, but it was more like based on our experiences. It was a little bit harder to get close with the Koreans. So yeah, we stick around a lot. Like thank God I have her. Otherwise, I don't know how I was able to get through the 4 months.
Same. But yeah, like again, as what Crystal said, it's not all Koreans that are like this. It's like it seemed to be just in those classes we were in. But we did meet a few Koreans, and we do have like one Korean girl that we hung out with a lot from our marketing class, and she, you know, despite the language barrier, she really tried to, you know, speak English with us. So we really appreciate that.
And we're still in touch. We're still in touch with her.
Yeah. Moving on from school, because you're not really there to go to school. Yeah, when you go on exchange, it's all about the social life. So.
Or social life. I actually realized I didn't really do as much as I thought I would have. Okay, going into Korea, I did not have any plans at all. Flew to Korea without thinking of what to do. So then it turns out I had a few things that I wanted to accomplish, but then I did not. One of them would be to kind of really explore Bokchang village. So that is the place where a lot of kind of houses. Yeah, so I really wish I explored that more. I did visit it, but then I was only there for like half an hour-ish. So next time when we go back to Korea, maybe we can go back to that area.
Like kind of building off what Crystal said, you know, if you're really into like the Korean culture and seeing those kind of houses, another really good place to go is Jeju. They have a lot of like villages there that are really cute, but we'll go into that a bit further later.
Yes. Another one I would say cafe hopping. Like, okay, I cannot believe that we did not do this. We talked about this so many times that we would go to this cafe, go to that cafe, and it turns out
We didn't go
to any.
Or like we did go to a few to study, but they were generally around the dorm and they were just literally for studying purposes. We didn't go to those cafes, yeah, for food or because it was particularly pretty.
And also Karasugi. So I've watched so many Korean vlogs that like they always walk around in that area. So that's also another thing that I want to do next time when I'm back. How about one advice?
Plan, honestly, and stick to your plan, because I actually went to Korea and I used Google Maps to like pinpoint all the locations and restaurants or whatever I wanted to go to. And like once I got there and was like swept up by the excitement, I kind of forgot about it. So plan ahead so you know where to go, and it also helps with your itinerary throughout the day so you know where to start and then what route you should go around to like maximize time but still hit up all the places you want to go.
If you're someone like me who doesn't plan, one thing you can do is just find a friend like her who would plan, so then you can just leave her with all the planning and then just follow her to anywhere. I mean, it worked out, right?
Yeah, it worked out. It was fun.
Another advice I personally would say is to take advantage of the street food. We love it.
Yeah, we were so addicted to eating. Like, we were so addicted to the point that the lady who ran the car like recognized us, and like every time we passed by, she'd be like, "Oh, hi!" And she like knew a lot about us, like that we were foreign exchange students. We went to university, and that she knew we kind of lived nearby because we would always be passing by.
Yeah, I miss her. I even took a Polaroid with her in the end.
I did, but
that's how close we were. Another thing I would say is the noraebang, Korean noraebang. Yeah, it's so cheap there. If you're someone who loves singing or is into singing or K-pop, you should for sure go to Korean noraebang.
And like, if you can't read Hangul like, or Korean in general, it's fine because they also have a lot of like Chinese songs, like Mandarin songs, and English songs as well. It's really cheap. It's like 1,000 won, which converts to $1 USD for 4 songs, or like 3 to 4 songs depending on where you go.
Yeah, I miss.
Yeah, same.
In our area that we lived in Daegu, there were a few Korean noraebang places, so we would often go there. Be like, oh, you're down to sing for a few songs.
Yeah. And like, I recommend going either in Hongdae or in like by university area because they tend to be the cheapest. Just because they know that there's a lot of broke university students around us. So yeah, you probably get the best bang for your buck around those areas. Well, there's one more like Daegu is another big one you'll see in dramas or like I guess Korean variety shows.
Yes, I didn't go.
So she didn't go. I went once in April because I did go to Korea right before my exchange. And I went to like your typical neighborhood ones in the Hongdae area, and it was like very mediocre.
Did you like it?
I didn't personally like it because there wasn't much to do. You just literally laid around, that's it.
Wait, but in the drama, you know how like they would play games, they would eat this, or like...
Yeah, that's like not your neighborhood doing fun. Like don't go to those ones if you're looking for that, I guess, experience. If you're looking for like somewhere just to sleep or like to literally wash up, then like your neighborhood ones are good. And I went again in August in Busan. I went to Smaland. It's connected to a latte mall. Yeah. So that one's a lot nicer. There's a lot more amenities, a lot more things to do. So if you're to go, I recommend going to one of those. Yeah. They are a bit more expensive, like double the price of your neighborhood ones, but I think it's worth the experience, and it's usually really, really pretty as well.
Speaking of like spending, I would say like for sure plan out your budget, because for both of us we actually did have a budget in mind per month at least, so we were trying to spend within that range. For me, at the end of the fourth month, I was able to have some extra money that I can like go for shopping or whatever. So we don't want to be those type of you spend a lot at the beginning and then at the end you just have nothing to do.
I actually didn't come in initially with a budget in mind, and then I quickly realized that I was spending way too fast and like on a lot of useless things. So I kind of started setting budgets per month. It was like 1,000 Canadian dollars
Per month.
per month, yeah. But that was like pretty sufficient for your day-to-day survival, like buying food, buying like things for your dorm. This $1,000 didn't include like textbook budget or anything. This was just purely like day-to-day and recreational. Although I wouldn't say like to let your budget really restrain you from having fun. Like it's kind of just there.
I mean, it's okay if you do spend
Yeah,
extra
a bit.
for a little bit, as long
Yeah.
as it's still within the range that you can afford.
Yeah, so I think we definitely had some months where we spent more and spent less. I think around Christmas we spent a lot more because we're like, oh,
I went
whatever.
all out.
Yeah, but I think in like October and November we didn't spend as much, and that money kind of carried over, which is why we spent more in December. So
Yes. So now on to our last part, which is the part that like probably every exchange student have this in mind when they're going on exchange, which is travel. We actually traveled not like a lot, but then it's not like we didn't go anywhere. So I personally still went to Busan, Jeju, Suwon, and Bucheon. You went a few more places than me.
I was a bit more adventurous. No, not say I wouldn't say adventurous. I was just like whatever with exams. So I went during they were all studying.
I was still studying when I was on exchange.
No, I studied. Like
She
I studied
did.
the past, but like I didn't as much. Like Crystal and some other friends would stay on the weekends to study, and I just like went off to Daegu with another friend. I did go one more place than Crystal, and that was Daegu.
No, we also went to Guangzhou.
Oh yeah, sorry. I also went to Guangzhou. She was away on that weekend with some other friends, so I went with another friend that we had met to Guangzhou. That was also really nice. I really recommend. Pass. I do recommend between Daegu and Guangzhou a bit more, but I also didn't stay that long in Guangzhou. Had like a friendlier vibe. Down south, so it was really warm at the time that I had gone, and I had gone with a few more friends, so it was really fun. I think just the street views were a bit nicer in my opinion than Daegu, but again, I didn't stay in Daegu for very long. I think I was there for less than 24 hours, so I couldn't really compare because I think I was in Guangzhou for like 2 days. Yeah.
Where would you recommend to go if you only have one vacation? I mean, you can only afford to go to one place in Korea.
Honestly, I think splurge and go to Jeju. Like Busan?
Jeju?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I had a really good time. I went with my best friend to Jeju. She flew in from Hong Kong and we met each other at the airport. I really love Busan. I would say Jeju just because it's, I think, a bit more unique to Korea, and it's because it's like an island on its own. It is a bit more special in my opinion. The views are like breathtaking. Honestly, I think it was prettier than Hawaii. No offense, Hawaii. And the people were just really nice, both in Busan and in Jeju. But yeah, I think Jeju to me was a highlight for sure.
I think I'm the opposite. I prefer Busan more. I don't know, the people there are so nice. Like, if they see you on your phone, or you look like a foreigner at least, they will like walk up to you and ask, oh, do you need help with direction? I can bring you to this place or whatever. Because I'm one of the uncles, I assume. When I went with my friends, he saw us kind of struggling on the street. So then he brought us from point A to point B. So it wasn't even just conversation. So I was like, oh, Busan people, I love you.
No, I had a very similar experience. I did go in April with my best friend. We first got off the KTX. We got on the subway in Busan, and this ajashi, or like older uncle, came up to us and was like, oh, you guys are foreigners, where are you guys from? And he actually spoke quite fluent English. But yeah, he was really nice. We were a bit lost. He was going the opposite direction from us, but he did bring us to the station and then go to his destination.
Wow,
So
that's cool.
yeah. This was in August. I wouldn't get to Busan because I loved it so much. And even the streetcar dude was really nice. Like he was like, oh, where are you guys from? And we're like, Vancouver. And it was really funny because he asked his friend like, where's Vancouver? And then his friend was like, it's in Canada. He's like, oh, I love Vancouver to us. I've been there. I love it. And we're like, well, clearly you did it, but like, thanks.
But you know why I love Ikson? It's because of content. That's why.
I like Busan too. Jimin and Jungkook are from Busan.
True. That's why.
But if you're going by that logic, then I love Daegu because I love V.
But still, Busan. Daegu.
BTS.
And then I would say one last advice is that utilize your long weekends. Because for us, we went in the fall, so we had Chuseok, which is
Their Thanksgiving. Their equivalent of our Thanksgiving.
we spent our Chuseok. I think it was study.
I didn't study. I don't know.
No, we were studying together, or at least we were on our laptop together. So we were just at a cafe. She probably didn't remember.
I don't remember.
I remember things.
I remember she got sick on the day we went to the Chuseok festival.
Yeah.
So she missed out. I was really sad. That's
Yeah.
all I remember from Chuseok.
We didn't do anything.
I think you get about 5 days off. So yeah, do utilize that. Another tip is don't be afraid to travel in Korea. There's a lot of options. You can go by train and you can go by bus, and they're both very affordable. The KTX is faster, it's a bit more expensive, but they also have like a
The
line.
cheaper version.
Yeah, I think it's called the Mugonghwa.
Yeah. I took that. If
I
you
took
want to
that.
save on money, pick that one.
That's a really good option. And their express buses were also very cheap and convenient. I think my ticket from Seoul to Gwangju, my one-way ticket was maybe 18,000 won.
That's not
I
bad.
think. Yeah, so that works out to be about like
$20
$20 Canadian or like $15 USD. So very affordable. Housing, I mean, if you split a place with like a few friends, Airbnb is also very affordable.
I love their Airbnbs.
Yeah, me too. Definitely don't think that traveling is out of budget for you in Korea because it's so affordable to do so.
You can always earn your money afterwards. Just spend it first.
Yeah, exactly. I think both of us though didn't really travel out of country, but honestly, I don't really regret it. Like,
Same.
yeah, I think it's always nice to be able to explore the country that you're in exchange for because like you chose that country for a reason, right? Not my experience, but like my best friend's experience. She was in Hong Kong and unfortunately she was there during the rallies. So she spent the first 2 months kind of traveling a lot outside of Hong Kong, and then she ended up getting kicked out of Hong Kong for the second 2 months. And so she said she really regret not exploring her exchange country just because again, like she really wanted to, but she didn't get a chance to. So I recommend really exploring, you know, Korea if you're going there first, and then if you have time and have the budget to branch out.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, so I think this kind of wraps up our video for today. Hope you guys enjoy watching this video and managed to get some advices from us. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and also subscribe to my channel. Make sure to turn on the notifications so you'll be informed of my upcoming videos. And I'll see you guys next time.